Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie, and I was assigned Chapter 5 in Johnston's Radical Behaviorism for ABA Practitioners. In Chapter 5, The Misdirection of Everyday Dialect, the chapter begins with Julie, an ABA student who is trying to familiarize herself with the material for class, but cannot find the relation between her studies and how it directly correlates to her career path of working with children on the autism spectrum. Julie also struggles with the concepts and language barrier that ABA presents and even compares it to trying to master a foreign language. While talking with her professor, Dr. Francis, Julie raises the question that as long as you understand the terminology and the class material, then why is it important to speak the correct language and terminology? Dr. Francis makes a hard-hitting point, and she points out to Julie that if you can't interchangeably use common language with ABA dialect, there is a potential that you don't truly know and understand the technical terms and concepts embedded in ABA. Not understanding the terminology and concepts may also make it very difficult to communicate with colleagues in the future. Knowing and associating knowledge and understanding. Knowing is associated with doing. If a person has a working knowledge about a task and that they are trying to complete, then they are able to follow through with that task and do it well because they know what they are supposed to do and how the end result should most likely turn out. When individuals know about a topic, they have been educated to it on some degree, and with that knowledge, they should be able to take action. When action turns into being able to relate the topic into the question why, as in, why are you learning about said topic? Why are you acting on it? And why is it important? Then it turns into understanding. Once your knowledge has purpose and you are able to explain the who, what, when, where, why, and how about the topic or issue, it shows a full understanding. In the next section, the purpose, intention, and goals, we learn that once you have the knowledge and understanding of behavior, we begin to give that behavior that knowledge characteristics and justification. These justifications are the purpose, intention, and goals behind our behavior, which is also referred to as the teleological behavior. For this portion, we are answering the questions why, what, and how. Why are we completing a certain task? What is the outcome of this behavior? And how is this behavior going to affect the end result that you're hoping for? The behavior that is associated with these questions reverts back to the previous events that we have experienced and in order to predict an outcome and determine the course of action or behavior that will take place to reach your end game. For problem solving, the next section, at times there are roadblocks that prevent us from being able to straightforwardly reach our end goal. These roadblocks are either seen as deprivation or aversion conditions. Deprivation is the need for something in order to be able to block out distracting forces, but not having it. Therefore, creating a motive to find a reinforcer to find resolution for your current barrier. Whereas aversion is a distraction to avoid the prominent issue that you have and create another issue that needs resolution. In both of these blockades, an individual needs to recognize they are not only at an obstacle that needs immediate resolution, but also recognize that they begin to find resolution to their immediate distractive roadblock. They are igniting the chain reaction to continue problem solving, to refocus their efforts towards reaching the goals for their first started task. The section on rules, advice, and instructions teach us that going through the process of identifying an issue or topic, gaining that knowledge and understanding of the topic, associating action to the topic, and giving reasoning to your actions, you get into your issues and roadblocks and how to find resolution. These problems and resolution become your learned lessons about the topic. When you have lessons learned, you begin to comprise rules, advice, and instructions to help yourself, as well as others, work their way through similar issues in the future. These rules, advice, and instructions directly affect a person's behavior in how they choose to accept the consequences of their behavior. History can repeat itself, or per the rules, advice, and instructions, an individual can change their behavior and receive new consequences. The more you run into roadblocks and go through the steps of problem solving on a certain topic, the greater your knowledge and understanding will become, bringing the whole process back full circle. When discussing these different sections of the chapter, in terms of answering questions for the who, what, where, when, why, and how, it emphasizes the verbal behavior that is more commonly looked at and acknowledged by behavior analysts. The physical act of doing is a clear observation that a person has the knowledge and understanding, and even that they take steps to problem solve. However, actions do not account for the verbal, whether it be internal or external, process and behavior that a person goes through to come to a conclusion about a topic or issue that is presented to them. Actions are relatively simple to follow. However, explanations for those options, otherwise known as your verbal behavior, is what demonstrates the clear understanding of the concepts and reasoning of that behavior. So, for the question, many of us may be in the same boat as Julie, where we feel that we know and understand ABA, but do not necessarily feel that there is a relevance in terminology and language specific to ABA. This would be our roadblock. It is a deprivation condition because we need this information and understanding for our careers, but may also be aversive for some if they are trying to focus and find a resolution in the way that Julie was and not needing to actually talk the talk to walk the walk. My multifaceted question to you is, do you fall into this category with Julie, or at least in the beginning of the class, did you? What kind of problem-solving techniques are you incorporating? And do you have any rules, advice, or instruction that you have been creating to help yourself and could potentially help others through the rest of class? Lastly, what are some disconnects or complications that you feel exist between mentalism and verbal behavior?